Every year in October, 75 million people wait for a single letter. It comes directly from the Social Security Administration. Most people open the envelope and scan the text quickly. They spot a small adjustment number like 2.8%. They do a quick calculation in their head. They realize they will get an extra $56 every month. Then they toss the piece of paper right into the trash. But let us look closer at what is really happening here. $56 a month is just the national average figure. That is the basic number the government publishes. That is the surface figure most commentators read out loud to you. What they never explain is how strategy changes the entire picture. By adjusting your filing strategy, you can unlock massive cash flow. Your existing work record can generate much more income. Between the ages of 60 and 70, you could extract serious cash. That cash can equal 2 full years of your regular salary. We are not talking about $56 a month anymore. We are talking about $56,000 or even more. The only difference comes down to knowing the rules. Some people discover the rules hidden deep inside administrative footnotes. Others look at the headline percentage and think they are done. Over the past 12 months, I received hundreds of personal messages. People write in with all kinds of frustrating situations. Some ask why their monthly checks suddenly got smaller. Others wonder why a neighbor of the exact same age gets far more money. That neighbor worked similar years but receives hundreds of dollars extra every month. One long message came from someone who retired 5 years ago. They just learned that an ex-spouse can trigger additional benefits. They spent 5 years missing out on cash that was rightfully theirs. That money is now gone forever. Reading these messages made one thing crystal clear to me. This system does not reward you simply for working hard. It does not care only about how many years you paid taxes. The system tests whether you know the secret backdoors. Not knowing what you do not know is the ultimate tax. It is the most expensive cognitive tax you will ever pay. Today we are opening up every single one of those backdoors. We will break down the rules that carry the highest cash value. You might be currently retired and collecting your monthly checks. You might be getting ready to retire very soon. You might be divorced, widowed, or raising a disabled child. You might even be working full-time right now. Every single section ahead can help you recover thousands of dollars. There is zero fluff in this breakdown. Let us jump right into the most overlooked money in the system. Most people have no idea this rule even exists. When you start claiming your own Social Security retirement pension, your family changes too. If you have minor children living in your home, they can get checks. If you have adult children who became disabled early, they qualify as well. Your child can receive their own separate monthly check directly from the system. That monthly check equals about half of your primary insurance amount. There is a total family limit that caps the total payout. That cap usually sits between 150 and 180%. Let us walk through a simple real-world example together. Imagine your monthly retirement benefit is $2,000. Your minor child could receive $1,000 every single month. If you have 2 children, they could receive $3,000 combined. But remember, the family cap keeps the total within that maximum range. These checks continue every month until the child turns 18 years old. If the child is still attending high school, it extends to 19. What if you have an adult child with a disability? If the disability began before age 22, payments can continue indefinitely. Think about what that means for your household finances. Imagine you retire when your youngest child is just 10 years old. That child will receive benefits for 8 full years. Over those 8 years, you could draw nearly $100,000 extra. That is $100,000 of real cash from the system. You do not need to work a single extra hour for it. You do not need to pay a single extra penny in taxes. All you had to do was fill out one specific form. Yet at least half the people I speak with never knew. They assume Social Security only pays the worker who retired. They ask what retirement has to do with their young children. That is where the misunderstanding creates a massive financial loss. Government workers will never run after you to offer extra cash. Their job is to process the paperwork you submit. Their job is not to build a personal financial plan for you. If you do not ask questions, you will never get that money. If you do not submit the form, the money stays untouched. It sits in the systems and goes to people who know rules. If you do not claim what is yours, someone else will. Now that we collected that money, let us move to divorced spousal benefits. This rule sounds so unbelievable that I verified it 3 times. I had to read the official code repeatedly before I trusted it. If you were once married and that marriage lasted 10 years or more, you qualify. As long as you are not currently married, you can claim benefits. If you remarried after age 60, you still keep full eligibility. You can claim monthly benefits based directly on your ex-spouse record. Listen carefully to these crucial details because details change everything here. First of all, you do not need permission from your ex-spouse. They do not need to sign anything or agree to anything. In fact, the agency will not even notify them about your application. Second, your ex-spouse does not need to be retired yet. They do not need to be collecting their own Social Security checks. As long as they have earned enough work credits, you can apply. Third, you receive up to half of their primary insurance amount. Claiming this benefit does not reduce their payout by a single cent. It does not affect what their current spouse can receive either. The system calculates your benefit as an entirely separate transaction. Many people hear this and immediately feel a wave of regret. They wish they had delayed their divorce past the 10-year mark, but let me point out an important comparison you must make. What if you worked for many years and earned a high income? If your own work record yields a higher payout, you use yours. The system automatically gives you whichever option pays the larger amount. But what if you stayed home or earned a lower income? Then checking your ex-spouse record becomes an absolute necessity. Consider a common scenario seen in many immigrant families across the country. A wife reaches retirement age with very few work credits of her own. Her former husband moved away many years ago after their divorce. She feels completely alone and assumes she must survive on small savings. That assumption is totally wrong and costs her real security. If that past marriage lasted 10 years, she has legal rights. If her former husband worked and paid taxes, she can claim benefits. The monthly check on his record could be several times higher. During a live stream last year, I shared a policy manual reference code. That reference comes from the official agency operational manual called POMS. POMS is the internal instruction book used by agency staff every day. It is a public document, but almost nobody knows how to search it. A viewer wrote down that exact reference code from my stream. She walked into her local agency office to apply for divorced benefits. The clerk at the window glanced at her form and rejected it. The clerk claimed she was ineligible because her ex-husband had not retired. My viewer pulled out the printed POMS manual text right there. She pointed to the specific section and asked for a review. She asked the clerk to check Part 3 of the internal manual. The very next morning, the clerk called her on the phone. The clerk apologized and said her situation had been re-evaluated completely. They confirmed she was fully eligible and asked for her formal application. One printed manual page made an agency worker reverse a rejection immediately. I pinned that exact POMS reference code in the top comment below. You can copy it, print it out, and keep it in your files. If a window worker tells you no, hand them that page. Tell them to check their own internal guidance manual again. Now let us move to the biggest money of all survivor benefits. The financial value of survivor benefits is massive yet widely ignored. People avoid talking about it because losing a spouse is painful. They feel uncomfortable discussing death, so they skip the whole topic. But survivor benefits are designed to protect your household from financial distress. If tragedy happens, you must ensure you receive every dollar owed to you. You should never leave your benefits behind due to grief or confusion. A surviving spouse can claim survivor benefits starting at age 60. The baseline payment starts at 71.5% of the deceased benefit. Notice that age 60 is far earlier than full retirement age 67. If you have a disability, you can start claiming as early as age 50. What if you are caring for the deceased child under age 16? Then you can claim survivor benefits at any age without waiting for 60. Let us pause and think about that rule for a moment. Many people think they must wait until age 60 no matter what. They struggle through severe financial pressure while raising young children alone. They have no idea they can file an immediate claim for help. If your spouse passes away when you are 40, you can claim right away. As long as your child is under 16, you receive monthly checks. Those 6 years of income can provide essential stability for your family. The income can equal what you would earn working multiple jobs. Claiming survivor benefits does not ruin your own future retirement strategy. The system keeps your personal work record completely separate from survivor benefits. Divorced surviving spouses can also claim under these exact same rules. If your marriage lasted 10 years and you remained unmarried, you qualify. If you remarried after age 60, your eligibility remains completely intact. This connects divorced spousal rules directly with survivor rules into one system. Yet thousands of people never realize they hold rights under both frameworks. I spoke with a woman who had been divorced for 12 years. Her former husband passed away last year without her knowing her rights. She had no idea she could collect survivor checks on his record. She thought survivor benefits only applied to currently married couples. That misunderstanding left thousands of dollars sitting on the table unclaimed. Now let us combine these rules into an advanced stacking strategy. This legal strategy can easily generate tens of thousands of dollars extra. At age 60, you apply for survivor benefits to establish immediate income. You receive 71.5% of your deceased spouse benefit. You use those monthly checks to cover your daily living expenses. Meanwhile, you leave your own retirement benefit untouched inside the system. Your own retirement benefit grows by about 8% every single year. It continues growing all the way until you reach age 70. By age 70, your personal benefit reaches 132%. At that exact moment, you execute a strategic switch in your plan. You stop receiving survivor benefits and activate your own maximum benefit. Look at what happens to your total lifetime cash flow with this approach. From age 60 to age 70, you collect regular survivor checks. Then after age 70, you collect your own peak lifetime retirement payout. This two-step strategy yields vastly more total money than filing at 67. Can you reverse this order and claim your own retirement first? No, you cannot do that, because survivor benefits do not earn delayed credits. Survivor benefit growth caps out early, so delaying them adds zero value. The correct logical order is using survivor benefits as a bridge. You use survivor cash during your 60s while your own benefit grows. These two options are not mutually exclusive choices but a sequencing puzzle. Setting the correct sequence creates a difference of tens of thousands of dollars. Here is another critical detail about remarrying that you must remember. Remarrying before age 60 usually terminates your right to survivor benefits, but remarrying after age 60 leaves your survivor eligibility completely untouched. Your new marriage will not reduce your new partner benefits either. That means after age 60, your personal marital choices carry zero system penalties. But if you remarry before age 60, evaluate the financial impact carefully. Once you remarry before 60, those survivor checks stop completely. Agency workers will not warn you about this rule before you marry. You must calculate the math yourself before making a final decision. Now that we covered these huge benefits, we must address a dangerous trap. If you are currently working, this trap could drain your wallet quickly. A very common mistake happens when people claim retirement at age 62. They feel active, so they take a part-time job somewhere nearby. They work at a retail store, a restaurant, or drive for a rideshare company. They earn $20,000 or $30,000 a year and feel great. They believe they are doubling their income with wages plus Social Security. Then during the second year, a sudden letter arrives from the agency. The letter states that their monthly checks have been suspended immediately. Their checks stopped because their total work earnings exceeded the allowed limit. Most people panic and assume the agency made a terrible mistake. They call the helpline and learn about the earnings penalty rule. The rule deducts $1 of benefits for every $2 earned over limit. The limit sits at $24,480 per year. Losing monthly checks unexpectedly creates severe stress when bills arrive on time. But here is the critical fact that almost everyone gets wrong. Those withheld benefit dollars are not stolen or forfeited as a fine. Most people assume the money was confiscated permanently by the government. That assumption is completely incorrect and misses how the system works. The agency actually puts those withheld funds into a holding account. When you reach full retirement age, the agency recalculates your benefit amount. They treat every withheld month as if you had never filed at all. For example, if you lost 18 months of checks due to high earnings, your age adjusts. At age 67, your new payout calculates as if you filed at 63.5. That recalculation increases your permanent monthly check by about 11%. That higher monthly check stays with you for the rest of your life. So the earnings limit is not a simple penalty, but a financial choice. Option A is keeping your work income under $24,480. That choice keeps your monthly benefit checks arriving regularly without interruption. Option B is working freely, earning higher wages, and letting checks pause temporarily. That choice forces a recalculation later that raises your lifetime payout by 11%. Neither option is universally right or wrong for every single family. The best path depends on your immediate cash needs, health, and future plans. But you must know that this choice exists so you can decide intentionally. Most people remain confused when checks stop and never understand the recovery process. Tell me in the comments right now which path makes more sense for you. Would you choose option A for steady cash flow or option B for higher future checks? I want to see how many people prefer each strategy. Now let us examine a life-changing tool for families supporting individuals with disabilities. This tool is the ABLE account, which underwent major reform in 2026. On January 1, 2026, the biggest expansion in 12 years took effect. Previously, you only qualified if disability occurred before age 26. Starting in 2026, the onset age limit expanded to 46. Think about how many lives change because of that 20-year age increase. Countless adults disabled by midlife illness or accidents can now open ABLE accounts. Annual contribution limits also increased to $20,000 per year. Working account holders can contribute even higher amounts from their earned income. Money from 529 college savings plans can now transfer penalty-free. Why is this specific account so vital for disability financial planning? Look at the strict asset limits set by Supplemental Security Income, or SSI. SSI enforces an individual asset limit of just $2,000 total. $2,000 in bank savings is an extremely low asset threshold. If you save a third $1,000, you get classified as non-needy. The agency marks you as someone who no longer requires government support. Your monthly SSI payments get suspended and your Medicaid health coverage gets threatened. That rule creates a painful problem for families trying to build stability. The system tells families they cannot save money without losing essential health care. How can a disabled individual save money to purchase an accessible van? How can they save money to install a wheelchair ramp at home? Without an ABLE account, every saved dollar triggers an automated system alert. System alerts report that you exceeded limits and violated eligibility rules. An ABLE account acts like a legal shield protecting your personal savings. You can deposit $20,000 into an ABLE account with zero penalty. The SSI system views your ABLE account balance as $0. You can build up to $100,000 inside the account safely. Up to $100,000 stays completely excluded from SSI resource limits. Congress wrote this explicit exemption directly into federal disability law years ago. Expanding eligibility to age 46 gives millions of families room to breathe. But we must discuss the specific rules governing ABLE account usage. Money withdrawn from an ABLE account must pay for qualified disability expenses. Qualified expenses include housing, education, transportation, medical care, and personal support services. If you spend funds on non-qualified items, you face income taxes plus a 10% penalty. Furthermore, if the balance exceeds $100,000, the excess counts toward SSI limits. Use the ABLE account as a medium-term savings vehicle for major expenses. State plan websites detail these operational rules, though legal jargon can be confusing. You can open an ABLE account in any state regardless of where you reside. Take time to compare state management fees before choosing where to enroll. Administrative fees vary significantly between states, so shopping around saves real money. Now let us shift our attention to a health expense affecting every retiree: Medicare. In 2026, the baseline monthly premium for Medicare Part B is $202.90. That represents an $18 increase over the previous year amount. Many retirees watch that premium rise and worry about losing their annual CORA increase. But for millions of seniors, that Part B premium can be eliminated completely. You do not need complex tax loopholes to wipe out that monthly cost. You simply apply for a federal assistance initiative called Medicare Savings Programs. These programs operate in 3 distinct tiers based on income and assets. The top tier program is called QMB, or Qualified Medicare Beneficiary. If your income falls within limits, QMB pays your full Part B monthly premium. It also covers your Part A and Part B deductibles, copays, and coinsurance. That means you pay $0 out of pocket for covered medical visits. In 2026, the QMB monthly income limit sits at $1,856 for individuals. For married couples, the monthly income limit is $2,509. Asset limits sit around $33,000 for individuals and $40,000 for couples. Millions of eligible seniors across the nation qualify for QMB but never apply. Some feel too proud to ask for assistance, while others simply do not know it exists. Many struggle with complex application forms or language barriers at local offices. But remember that Medicare savings programs are funded by federal tax dollars. You paid into this system through decades of hard work and payroll taxes. This is an earned entitlement created by law for your financial protection. Failing to apply simply leaves your own tax dollars in government accounts. If your income sits slightly above QMB limits, look at the second tier, SLMB. SLMB pays your monthly Part B premium even if it does not cover copays. If your income is slightly higher still, the third tier QI covers Part B premiums on a first-come basis. These 3 tiers form a complete ladder of financial support for seniors. Ignoring these programs means handing away $200 every single month. $200 a month equals $2,400 every single year. Over 10 years, that adds up to $24,000 in real savings. Keeping those funds in your bank account helps your family far more than paying unnecessary premiums. While discussing Medicare, we must examine Medicare Advantage advertising traps. You often see television commercials promoting free grocery cards or dental perks. Many seniors switch away from traditional Medicare to get those advertised extras. But switching to certain Advantage plans carries an invisible operational cost. If you currently receive home care services, your existing agency might not accept the new plan. Changing plans changes payment networks and contract requirements overnight. You might gain a grocery card but lose 40 hours of weekly home care support. Many seniors discover this trade-off only after the annual open enrollment period ends. Once open enrollment closes, you are locked into that plan for the whole year. Before changing plans, call every single one of your current healthcare providers. Ask them explicitly if they accept the specific Advantage plan you are considering. Get written confirmation before signing any enrollment papers or changing your plan. Extra perks advertised on television are always funded by reducing coverage elsewhere. We must also look at key changes affecting Medicare Part D prescription plans. In 2026, federal law established a hard out-of-pocket spending cap for prescription drugs. Once you reach that annual cap, you pay $0 for covered medications for the rest of the year. That cap provides huge relief for seniors taking expensive ongoing prescriptions. But individual drug plan formularies change every single year without warning. A medication covered cheaply last year might get dropped from the formulary next year. Many seniors allow their drug plans to auto-renew every fall without checking details. They end up paying higher deductibles and higher copays for their essential medications. Annual open enrollment runs from October 15th through December 7th every single year. Use those weeks to review your prescription list using the online Medicare Plan Finder tool. Spending one afternoon comparing plans can save you hundreds of dollars in drug costs. Now let us examine a procedural rule that carries enormous financial value: protective filing. I explain this rule constantly to viewers because missing it causes instant regret. Understanding protective filing can literally net you tens of thousands of dollars in back pay. What exactly is a protective filing date in the Social Security system? It is the official date set when you first inform the agency of your intent to apply. Even a simple phone call stating your intent locks in that exact calendar date. Once your formal application gets approved, your benefit payments backdate to that locked date. Every day you delay making that initial contact represents money lost forever. Taking months to gather paperwork before calling the agency reduces your back pay. The standard approach most people follow is gathering every document before making contact. They spend months searching for birth certificates, tax returns, and medical records. By the time they submit their completed application, 6 months have passed. The agency calculates benefits starting only from the day the application was received. Those 6 months spent gathering documents produce zero retroactive dollars for the applicant. But if you call the agency first, you establish your protective filing date immediately. You then get up to 6 months to gather your documents and submit formal paperwork. When approved, your retroactive check covers every month back to that initial call. One applicant used this rule effectively to collect $63,000 in back pay. $63,000 was delivered in a single check because of one well-timed phone call. That single call established the protective date and secured months of accumulated benefits. However, the agency now enforces strict standards regarding what constitutes intent. Asking vague questions about eligibility no longer establishes a protective filing date. You must state clearly and unequivocally that you intend to file an application today. Specify the exact benefit type you are applying for to ensure proper logging by staff. The worker will schedule a formal application interview and log your protective date. Call between Tuesday and Thursday after 2 in the afternoon to avoid long hold times. Monday mornings and Friday afternoons produce the longest phone queues of the week. Free translation services are available over the phone by requesting a Chinese interpreter immediately. Language barriers should never prevent you from establishing your protective filing date. Local field offices are legally obligated to provide on-site translation services upon request. For Social Security Disability Insurance, or SSDI, protective filing dates matter even more. SSDI application processing often takes over 12 months before a final decision arrives. If medical records prove disability occurred prior to filing, you can claim retroactive benefits. SSDI allows up to 12 months of retroactive benefits prior to your protective filing date. Supplemental Security Income, or SSI, does not allow retroactive benefits prior to filing. For SSI, establishing your protective filing date immediately is crucial to avoid losing checks. If your initial SSDI application gets denied, do not give up on your claim. Over half of all approved SSDI claims win approval during the formal appeal stage. Appeals are reviewed by administrative law judges who evaluate total medical evidence carefully. File your formal appeal within 60 days of receiving a denial letter to preserve your rights. Looking across all these rules reveals a complete strategy for maximizing your benefits. Child benefits, divorced spousal payouts, survivor, stacking earnings recalculations, ABLE account protections. Medicare savings programs and protective filing dates form an integrated framework. Every single rule discussed today is documented in public government manuals, yet very few people combine them into an actionable personal plan. Agency clerks receive fixed salaries and have zero incentive to maximize your individual payout. Whether you collect full benefits or miss out entirely does not alter their daily pay. You must take control of your own filing strategy to claim what is rightfully yours. Take these 3 specific actions starting today to protect your financial future. First, create your personal online account on the official Social Security Administration website. Review your work credits, estimated survivor benefits, and current annual earnings limit. Second, call the agency immediately if you qualify for divorced or survivor benefits. Use the phrasing taught today to establish your protective filing date without delay. Third, open an ABLE account if you or your child qualify under the updated age 46 limit. Even a small initial deposit activates the account and establishes your asset protection. Taking these 3 steps requires only a few hours of your time today, but completing them can increase your household cash flow for decades to come. Millions of dollars remain unclaimed in system accounts every year due to lack of knowledge. That money gets redistributed to individuals who understand how to navigate the system. Subscribe to the channel and share this video with family members preparing for retirement. Leave a comment below sharing your own experiences with Social Security rules and filing delays. Join our upcoming live stream where we will analyze individual filing scenarios in detail. Thank you for watching and taking control of your financial future today.